Okay, so here's a mini series I've started with some of the accounts that I've listed out so far. It's best uses. A lot of people sometimes know how these accounts work, but they don't know whether their circumstances necessarily meet the best way, and whether or not there could be other accounts that are maybe more optimal to use instead of the ones they're already using. They just kind of don't know what tools are kind of available to them. So best uses just means that for your particular situation, would this account maximize the return that you could conceivably get from using this account versus other accounts? These particular lists, when I do these for best uses, they're not ordered. They're just kind of off the cuff, and then we'll just kind of talk about them. So let's get into the best uses. So best use case number one. If you are in a position where you have low taxable income, so this can be accomplished one of two ways. You either have a low taxable income because you have a low income, a relatively low income, or option number two, you have a number of different income sources. And it just so happens that the ones that are taxable are not that much, right? So if you own real estate or something like that, you maybe get a lot of deductions. And so your taxable income might be lower, for example. So in the case where you have low taxable income, consider the Roth and how it works. Remember what I said in the earlier slide, almost at the very beginning at this point, that you earn the money, then the money's taxed, then the money becomes your after-tax paycheck, then the money goes into the Roth. If you're at a very low taxable income already, then you don't have that much money coming out of your base pay to pay taxes because you're in a low income bracket. So you're not paying that much taxes anyway. So always the disadvantage of the Roth is that you have to contribute with after-tax dollars, which means that the taxes have to come out first. But if you're in an income bracket where you don't really pay taxes anyway, then that doesn't really help you. Consider the opposite case where you have a traditional IRA. You contribute, you earn the money, then you put it in the account. You avoid a tax bracket, whatever tax bracket you're in. So consider somebody who's low income that contributes to a traditional IRA. That doesn't make any sense either, because what will typically happen is you'll put the money in, then come tax time, you'll get a write-off, a deduction for the amount you put in. And then they'll basically give you back the taxes that you paid on that money when you contributed to the account. Now, if you're in a low income bracket, you didn't pay any money on the money you put in the account. So that deduction is worthless to you because you didn't pay any taxes to begin with. So it doesn't make sense for somebody who's in a low income bracket who doesn't have a high amount of taxes that they pay on a given year to try to avoid paying taxes. The Roth IRA basically says, like, look, pay your taxes, which are zero or very close to zero. Invest this money tax-free, and you only have up to go from here. So if you move into a higher bracket later, which is a possibility for someone who's in a low income bracket, you can only go up at that point. If you do move up in the future, now you pay real taxes. Now your situation's changed, but you already have the money in the Roth now. So if you want to pull the money out, you can pull it out tax-free. You don't need to ask anybody to pull it out. And now you may want to consider contributing to other types of accounts because now you're taxable. Now you actually have taxable income. But when you don't have taxable income, the penalty of using the Roth goes away because you don't pay any taxes. So it's very likely that people that are low income can invest on a Roth IRA and invest in a Roth IRA on a cheaper basis than the rest of us. So that would be my kind of conclusion for group number one. Low taxable income group have a lot to benefit because they don't pay taxes, which means that having to invest on an after-tax basis is not that big of a deal. Okay, so let's talk about best use group number two. No Roth 401k. So maybe you're in a particular situation where you like the Roth, you like contributing to the Roth, you like the idea that the government can't come snatch the money from you later on and you don't even know how much it's going to be and you don't like that uncertainty. So maybe you want to contribute to a Roth. Maybe you want your Roth contributions to dominate not only your after-tax contributions, but your retirement contributions, period. Sounds like a good deal to you. There's only one problem. Your employer doesn't offer a Roth 401k. So you don't have access to that higher limit Roth 401k contribution limit of $22,500. So you have to settle for the $6,500 annually limit plus the $1,500 catch up at best. But at the very least, you are able to contribute to your Roth IRA on an after-tax basis, and you are able to build up your after-tax portfolio, and that's better than not being able to do it at all. So if you had to choose between a Roth 401k and a Roth IRA, it's still not trivial which one you choose, because again, we're talking about fees, we're talking about investment choices, we're talking about different contribution limits, we're talking about different liquidity availability, right? So it's not necessarily an apples to apples comparison. But if the thing you cared about most was the fact that you could contribute on an after-tax basis, and then you could, of course, roll it into a Roth IRA later on if you wanted to, there's nothing to stop you from doing that. If just getting more after-tax contributions, tax-free contributions into a Roth vehicle, then the 401k would be best. But if you don't have a 401k, then an IRA will do. You work with what you have and it'll work out. So that's all I have. Thank you. Appreciate it. For if you're still here sticking around, if you enjoy the content, if you think you're learning things, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you would have thought about any more best use cases or any other advantages or disadvantages that I didn't think of, and I'll see you in the next video.